Hi all, today we will discuss about the instruction format and the different types of instructions like zero address, one address, two address and three address instructions. So as we already discussed in the previous class, instruction format means first of all you should know the meaning of an instruction. So the instruction is the basic is a one one kind of operation that you want to perform on the input data. So we already mentioned that the instruction also contains two parts. Sometimes we can divide into three parts, that we will see what is the third part. For time being, remember that an instruction is divided into two parts. One is opcode and other is operands. The third part we will see what is that, but remember this is the instruction. And as I said, uh, first of all, let us discuss the importance of an instruction in terms of computers. See, computer is basically a machine that process any binary information. Process means it stores the instructions that is given by user in the computer memory, and one element that stores all the instructions entered by the user. See, the first question is, who develops the instruction? User or programmer or developer. The programmer or developer or the user develops the instructions with the purpose of desired result. The developer develops a program which is nothing but group of instructions, and the program should have some objective, right? For example, let us take a C programming language. The C programming language, if some if a developer was asked to develop a program which will test whether the given number is even or odd, a simple program. So in that, the program contains some set of instructions which are executed by the computer, and that gives you whether the given input number is a even number or odd number, how big the number may be. So in order to perform all these operations, you are mentioning those operations in the instructions, and we are calling some group of instructions as one program. The program has some output and input. So in this case, what's happening, the program is designed to test whether the given number is even or odd. So the input would be any number, even number, odd number, sometimes zero, negative number, positive number, real number. These are the different types of input data, right? So by taking all these different input data into consideration, the programmer has to develop, that means write some instructions in any particular programming language. So once the developer develops a program or writes some set of instructions, all those instructions are going to be stored in the memory or storage unit. So the computer first gets the instruction or collects the instruction from the user and store it in somewhere. That is storage. And in the storage unit, again, you know that it is divided into two parts: secondary memory or secondary storage, which is permanent but slow. Another is primary storage, which is temporary but fast. We will discuss in detail that this primary memory, we have seen that it directly interacts with the control unit and ALU and some registers, which is together called processor. So it is important to the important that instruction has got some important role in computer processing. So how effectively you can mention, how what are the different ways of writing instructions, we will discuss today. So this is the brief introduction about instructions. So as I said earlier, all the computer takes that instruction which are stored in the memory one by one. The take is not a suitable word. In terms of computer memory, we have a special word called fetch. Fetch an instruction from memory. Fetch an instruction from memory. You know the procedure. Who is responsible means how can the CU or control unit knows that the particular address of the next instruction means, remember we have a special register called program counter. So program counter is a special kind of register which contains the address of next instruction to be executed and place the PC value, program counter value, in MER, memory address register. Memory address register and memory data register contain some. Memory data register doesn't contain anything because it's a fetch operation. So MER, with the address present in MER, first you identify particular memory location with that address and fetch the instruction present at that memory location, copy it to MDR. From MDR it has to go to IR, instruction register. From instruction register, the control unit, now the IR, instruction register, has an instruction. Now what is an instruction? Means instruction contains two parts or three parts. We will see, we'll discuss for today's class what are those important two parts. One is opcode and the other is operands. Operands means operands is a plural. There can be this is important thing. So I have an opcode which is a mnemonic. Mnemonic in the sense it is an alphanumeric code. Okay, and operands are basically a registers. So opcode and operands. So this is called instruction format. So in this case of instruction format, the control unit takes the opcode part of an instruction. Remember, when we discuss about simple accumulator based CPU, the control unit takes not the whole instruction present in the IR, that is instruction register, only part of the instruction it takes. The CU fetches only part of the instruction. What is that part? Op called means opcode. So it fetches an opcode from the memory, from IR register, and it performs some decoding by a instruction decoder. There is a special decoder. So with this, the control unit will come to know, will identify what operation actually required to perform. This is important. This is really important to understand, because why control unit fetches an opcode? Because as I mentioned earlier, the instruction contains two parts, opcode and operands. The opcode contains what operation is required to perform in this instruction. An example for opcodes are add, subtraction, multiplication, division, mod, move, store, complement. So like that there are n number of opcodes are available. I'll explain you how these opcodes are designed in terms of bits means. I'll for example, it's a if it is a that simple 6-bit instruction, let's assume it is a simple 6-bit instruction, then opcodes are reserved for 3 bits and operands are reserved for 3 bits. So when I say opcode is for 3 bits, remember 3 bits. 3 bits means I can place how many values? By this time I hope you should tell me the answer. The minimum number is 00, 001, 010, 011, 100. So 000, 001, 010, 011, 100, 101, 110, 111. So total 8. So there, if I preserve 3 bits for the opcode, I can store 8 different values, that is 0 to 7. So each one you can represent as one unique operation, like 000 means add, 001 means subtract, 010 means multiplication, division. So like that you can mention 8 different kinds of opcodes for specifying different kind of 8 operations. So this opcode basically tells or informs the CU what kind of operation this instruction is required to execute. I hope you are getting the importance of opcode. The important part of the instruction is opcode itself, because here you will specify what operation actually performs. And of course, the second part is operands. So operand means, okay, let's assume I have an opcode 000, which means I need to perform an add operation. So when I need to perform add operation on what? It requires some operands. If somebody asks you perform addition, then immediately they will ask you, give me the numbers, I will perform addition. So when control unit fetches an opcode, it identifies that it has to perform an add operation. Add operation on what? On the operands. So the operands can be one operand, two operands, three operands, or sometimes zero operand. It is quite interesting the case. This is a special case, zero operand or zero address. We will see what is that. When is the case when there is no operand. When there is no operand, if the opcode says specify an operation, then what operands? When there is no operands, how can the operation be performed? Though the operands may not be present in the instruction, but the ALU assumes the operands to be present at accumulator. We will see that case. But remember, instruction format means opcode and operands. This is the brief introduction about instruction format, which contains opcode and next, what is an instruction format? Instruction is normally made up of the combination of operation code, yeah, The full form of the opcode is operation code, and some way of specifying an operand, some way of specifying the operation code means it is a short form of opcode. Next thing, operand. Operand, the most commonly by its location or by address in the memory. Location means it can be in the registers. The data can be in the register or in the address of a memory. So anything can, the data can be presented. Remember, what are the nearest memory element that can for an ALU means, of course, accumulator and other register. So basically, if the data has to be mentioned present in computer, either it should be present in a register or in the memory, as simple as that, or within the instruction itself. There could be other possibility. So remember, three possibilities. Anyway, opcode has to be present in the instruction. When it comes to operands, operands means the data on which this operation is required to perform. This operation can be in the the data can be within the instruction is the one possibility. Other possibility is the data can be present in the register, in special registers or in general purpose registers, or the data can be present in the memory. So when the data is present in the memory, you need to know the address. It is very clear that if the data is going to be present, is going to be stored in the memory, then the instruction somehow should contain the address of the particular memory location. Remember, we divided the memory is divided into different memory locations, and each memory location has got one unique address. So those address has to be present in the instruction in some way. The address can be in the register. Yes, there's a possibility. So remember, when I say address, address can be in the memory. The operand can be in the memory. When the operand is in the memory, definitely you need know the address of the memory location. So the address can be present in the register, and that register you can mention in the instruction, or the register can contain directly the data or operand, or within the instruction itself you can have the data that is called constants. If you want to add some constant, increment by value by 2 or by 3, so 2 3 is the constant one which you can directly mention in within the instruction itself. So even in that case, that value is going to be stored in the register. It has to be. So this is the instruction is normally made up of a combination of an operation code and some way of specifying an operand, most commonly by its location or by address in the memory. This is about instruction format. So if somebody asks you what is an opcode is a full form is operation code. It's a part of the instruction which specifies what operation is required to perform by ALU. And who will identify this operation code means control unit fetches the opcode part of the instruction that is stored in the IR instruction register and performs a decoding, and it concludes that it gives some information to the ALU final conclusion that you need to perform some operation, some mathematical operation. Now it is the responsibility of the ALU Now it is the responsibility of the ALU to perform that particular operation using an operands. Again, operands are present in the instruction which is stored in IR. When it comes to operands, as I tell you, it is important to know that operands can be in the memory. In this case, you should know the address. The operands can be in the register. It's enough to know the name of the register. The operands can be within the instruction itself. And sometimes what happens, we will see the special case where the instruction doesn't contain any operand part at all. It doesn't contain operands. The instruction contains only opcode. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible with the help of a special register called accumulator. We'll discuss further. Just remember, these are the different possibilities. Next, we have different types of addresses in instructions. As I tell you, there is a lot more thing to discuss about types of addresses in the instruction when it comes to operand part. So this is about operand part. Opcode part means simple. Just remember, opcode means the special mnemonic. If there are 5 bits allocated in the opcode, means you can have 32 different possible operations. So remember 32 bits. If it is a 32-bit instruction and 16 bits are reserved for opcode, 2 power 16. 2 power 16 different possible operations are possible in the computer. See how big it is. 2 power 16. 2 power 10 means 1024. 2 power 6 means 64. 64 multiplied by 1024. So approximately 60,000 operations are possible using 32-bit. 60,000 plus. So this is about opcode. But the important thing is address part of the instruction. We have a lot more things to discuss about address part of the instruction. First, we have three address instruction. In three address instruction, memory addresses for the two operands and one destination need to be specified. It is also called general register organization. The simple case, take the simple case, what it is mentioned here, add R1, R2, R3. That means, as I tell you, add R1, comma R2. So this is an instruction. Instruction contain two parts. This is called opcode. When CU concerns only with this mnemonic opcode, that is operation code. So it takes that add and gives to, it has a special decoder called instruction decoder. It gives to that add, then one output will come that will go to ALU. ALU identifies that it has to perform addition operation, so that it concerns a IR and fetches the operands. Here operands are nothing but register R1 and R2 are general purpose registers. Okay, the ALU performs the addition of the value stored in R1 and R2. If the R1 contains some 5, R2 contains 10, ALU performs the addition operation and the results 15, where it has to store. It has to store in a third register called R3. This is the register where result are stored. For that reason, this is called three address instruction. Three address means three registers or three different memory locations are required to specify. So this is about three address register. It is also called general purpose register organization. It is important to know. So this is the now micro operation. Micro operation means what operation actually you need to perform means, okay, there are different categories, don't worry. Here what happened, add R2 and R3, store in R1. Sometimes can be add R1, R2 and store R3. It doesn't make difference. It's just a notation. So this is the micro operation which is required to perform by ALU and store the result in R1. Next, I have, so let's take an example. We'll discuss. So here what's happening, The goal is you need to perform evaluate this expression. And if you apply some Bodo Moss, first you need to perform a plus b because they are within the bracket. Next you need to perform c plus d. This result and this result, then you just multiply. So three operations required to perform, two additions followed by one multiplication, and next assign the value to x. So if you have a general purpose register organization, or if you have the instructions that you need to specify in three address format, first you would specify that add r1 comma a b. That means a and b are some addresses. Go to the address of the memory location m of a. Go to the address of memory location b. Fetch the values. ALU performs addition operation, stores it in register R1. Similarly, when I say a second instruction, see if you want to evaluate this expression to be evaluated, these are the three instructions. Instruction 1, instruction 2, and this is instruction 3. Second instruction, what it says? CD. CD are the again two different memory locations at address. Fetch the value at memory location for address C and fetch the memory location address D. And ALU performs addition, store in register 2. Now multiply R1 R2, this value A plus B is in R1, C plus D is in R2. Now multiply these two R1 R2 value and store in a memory location called X. So this is about multiply R1 R2 value and store at the address of memory location X. So this is how a three address instruction is used if to evaluate an expression. I hope you are understanding. This expression can be evaluated by three address instruction by using three instructions. Next, we will see two address instruction. So what is a two address instruction? Now we can imagine that two addresses or registers or two address registers or two memory locations are specified. Then where the results, you may get a doubt. Then where the results would go and store, because it is a two address instruction, it is not three address. If it is a three address instruction, yes, you can easily identify that two addresses are preserved for performing any arithmetic operation, and fourth and third one is used to store the result. But in case of two address instruction, we have only two memory locations, two address of memory locations or two registers. Then it is important to know where the results would be stored. Again, this is called general register organization. Memory two address registers or two memory locations are specified in the instruction. Assume that the destination address is the same as that of first operand. That means the result also going to be stored in the first memory location or first register. So this is about two address instruction. This is a simple example. Add R1 comma R2. There is no R3 here. So R1 R2 has to be added and the results has to be again stored in R1. Can you guess what would be the or what might be the name of R1? The R1 contains both input data, and R1 is also used to store the result. It is called, yes, you are right, it is called special register called accumulator, right? Next we will see, if this is the case, if I have two address instructions, my computer supports only two address instructions, then how to evaluate this expression? We'll see how to evaluate x is equals to, again same expression, how to evaluate this expression. First, since there are only two operands, first what you have to do, move the value of a to R1. Next, this is the first instruction, because R1 is the register where it should contain some input data, and also it is responsible for storing the result. So add R1 comma B. So when I say add R1 comma B, R1 contains the memory location of A and the value at memory location B, add again storing result at R1, because you said add R1 comma B. Remember, you are not supposed to say add B comma R1, because the results immediately has to be stored in a register. Once the ALU performs an arithmetic operation, results are ready, it has to be first stored in a register, not, you cannot store it in directly in a memory location. Yes, the final result can be stored in the memory location, but first it has to be stored in the result of an operation, arithmetic operation or ALU operation is required to store in a register. For that reason, we are saying add R1 comma B. Similarly, you can imagine, now you can write. First, take the memory location of C and move to another register called R2. Here you can't use R1 because R1 has already the value of A plus B. A plus B is now stored at R1. Now let's take move R2 comma C. So the R2 register contains C. Add R2 comma B. R2 comma D. Add R2 comma D. So the R2 again addition of the value at stored in register and memory location D is performed. Again result is stored in R2. Now multiply R1 comma R2. So when you perform multiply R1 R2, a result again going to be stored in the R1. Now move R1 value to X memory location. See, if you observe carefully what happening here, the number of instructions are getting increased when we have less number of operands. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 instructions are two address instructions. 6 two address instructions are required to evaluate this expression. If it is a 3 address instruction, only 3 instructions were sufficient, because we have less number of operands, that is 2 operands or 2 address instruction. If our computer supports 2 address instruction, then you need to add more number of instructions, so you need to execution time will get increased. But what is the advantage means, you are using less number of registers. In case of 3 address register, it is used more memory but less number of instructions. So this is about 2 address instruction. Now let us discuss about 1 address instruction. So the 1 address instruction can be a register or register name or 1 memory address. This is called single accumulator organization. This is called simple accumulator based CPU. It uses Remember one address instruction. That means you can mention only one operand in the instruction. What about second operand? If you want to perform addition operation, definitely you require two operands. But in the instruction, you are mentioning only one operand. Where would be the second operand? That you understand that by default, the second operand will be present at a particular special register called accumulator. So it uses AC register, accumulator register for all data manipulations. The example is add x. So again, this is an instruction divided into two parts. This is opcode, these are operand. It has only one operand. It has only one operand, and that operand is x. Now, what happens with this? Go to the memory location of x. Already AC has one default value. Accumulator has some value, other second operand. So this is first operand. This is second operand. Perform ALU performs addition. Again store the result in accumulator. So you not even mention. You no need to mention the AC value in the instruction. It is not required. So this is one address instruction, or it is called single accumulator organization. Now we will see how to, in this case of, if we have a computer of one address that supports one address instruction, then how would you execute? How will you evaluate this expression is the question. We will see how it is evaluated. First you understand the instruction x is equals to a plus b multiplied by c plus d. So first you should say load a, load accumulator. That means go to memory location a, go to memory location a and store the value in AC. Here I remember we are not saying move, we are saying load. So the control unit, when decodes the load, it understands that something has to be transferred into accumulator. Now accumulator has the data. Simply say add B. Go to memory location B, take the AC value, perform addition, store the result in accumulator. Similarly, here it is important. Again, you can't directly say load C because accumulator contains the result of A plus B. So it has to be stored somewhere. This A plus B value has to be stored somewhere. For that reason, we are saying store T. So store the AC value at memory location T. Memory location T, remember, contains A plus B, the result of A plus B. Now you can say load C. So the accumulator value is loaded with the memory content of C. Same again you can say add D. So the accumulator and memory location D value. Now it contains, accumulator contains C plus D. So you can directly say multiply T because T contains A plus B value. This is A plus B value. Now this accumulator contains E plus D. Multiply, store in AC, and you can say store X. Store that particular accumulator value in memory location X. It is as simple as that. See, the number of instructions are even getting increased compared to two address. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the one address instruction. This is called one address instruction. Next we have zero address instruction. Zero address instruction are special type of instruction. Here we will use stack. Arithmetic operation pops two operands from the stack and pushes the result. It is also called stack organization. So the earlier one is single accumulator organization. This is called stack organization, and before that, two address and three address is called general purpose organization. If it is a zero address instruction, we will use a special memory location called stack. What is stack means? The property of stack is that stack is like any box. If this is my box, if I am storing the ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, then which one I can pop first, take it out? The one which I recently inserted. So lost in, first out. This is the property of a stack. So if this is my stack, what is stack? Stack again is a memory location in the memory. First you will say push A, that means push the value of A into stack. Push B, push the value into stack. Then what is the instruction? See the instruction, just add. There are no operands, just add. Then what happens, since it is a zero address instruction, first you fetch the top of the stack and another top of the stack, fetch, perform two pop operations and store the result in top of the stack. Next again similarly again push C, push D, and again perform add. Similarly the result is here. Then you do multiplication and finally you will say pop. So this is called stack organization. So here where is zero address instruction means here is the zero address instruction. Add, multiply, because it has no arguments, no operands. This is about zero address instruction.